John. Oh. What's up, John? How's work, bro? How you doing, Patricia? John knows Portuguese. He's an expert in Portuguese. What's the day looking like, John? Oh, what we got? How much for how long? You crazy. You don't want to spend all that time on the road in this traffic for that much? No, sir. Salaam alaikum. Change off to the gym. Just came to drop a like. Appreciate that. Wa alaikum salam. Gibby in the building. Gibby in the building. Yeah, we need some likes on the stream. Let's see if we can get the live stream off the ground here. Work has been insane. Is the boss nearby? Bonjour. Now, bonjour. I thought it was French, right? Wa alaikum salam, Savage. What's going on, Savage? I don't know what Winter's saying. I think Winter's asking something. That's French, right? Bonjour. Oh, my stomach's bothering me. Yeah, buddy. What's the day looking like for everybody? It was great to debate you on the other channel. We're not going there. Who you debated? John? Oh, yeah? The other brother? Yeah, man. Sha la 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 la. Gotta call my son in about an hour and 13 minutes. Call him on the video call. What's this? To go where? This one I'm actually gonna do. Oh no, 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 no. Never mind. I am not doing this. Oh, I really don't want to go to this place right now. I didn't know it was from there because I know it's gonna be a group of people. I just know it's gonna be a group of people. I'm not doing it, dog. I'm not doing it. Nope. Can't really cancel it. I don't want to really cancel. I wish my cancellation was low right now, but it's not. It's a little high. Should I just do it? I feel like if I go do this, I'm gonna regret this trip. Hey, what's up? Usually, I have good intuition. I've picked up people before that prior to picking them up, I'm like, I don't want to do this. There's something off about this trip. And I get there and I pick them up, and then you'll be surprised how many times the trip has just been like undesirable. Like the people been not good to have in the car, and then every time I'm like, next time I get this like intuition to not do a trip, I'm not gonna do it. And then I do it again because it's paying good. Like I'll do another one, and then it's like, damn it, same thing, bad experience. I'm not gonna do this. There's gonna be a group of people coming from the park, from Busch Gardens, and nah, bro, I don't want a group of people in my car right now. And then 20 minutes, nah, we're not doing it. I'm not doing it, Vinny. Sorry, buddy. Somebody else gonna have to pick you up. It's not gonna be me. It's not going to be me. We'll cancel that. I'd rather take the cancellation hit. Screw it. I don't want to do it. Yeah, especially if you stink and drunk. Hello, everyone. Found John. Found John. You've been looking for John? You've been looking for this John right here? What's going on? Easy. What's the day looking like? Yeah, this John. He's been busy putting in that work. I just had a feeling to check this live. I saw I saw your debate too. That's funny. Walaikum salam. How you doing, Alan? How's the day treating you? What time is it? I think I'm gonna go home, take a shower in a little bit. Alhamdulillah. All good. There's a sister walking by. There's a sister walking with hijab, and then there's a younger girl with her. It looks like it's her daughter with no hijab. It must be like more difficult for Muslim parents to have a daughter here in the U.S. Right? If you're trying to bring them up with the values, Islamic values, and things like this, I wouldn't want a daughter, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. Um, just because of the fact, not that I wouldn't want a daughter because they're less or anything. They're not less, right? I'm just saying, just because I think it would be much more difficult to raise a daughter these days. Because look, my son, he's gonna be a man one day, right? He's gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna guide him the best way I can, right? He's gonna make mistakes, but like every human being, things like this, right? But with boys, it's like you fall, you get right back up. You fall, you get right back up, right? The world's gonna bang you up some, right? But what do you do as a father if you have a daughter and she gets to 15, 16 and she want to wear booty shorts and she starts doing things behind your back and her mom that are hoish. Bro, I couldn't take that. I couldn't take that. I couldn't take a daughter that turned out to be a hoe for some reason, no matter how good I tried. And then with social media nowadays and things like this, I couldn't take that, bro. I would really be saddened. I would really be out of shape if that was the case. That's why I wouldn't want a daughter, because that risk, especially where we live, it's there. I mean, you can do your best, right? You can raise them with your values. But eventually that daughter is gonna, you know, it's going to be around other type of girls and peer pressure and things like this, to dress a certain way, to talk a certain way, to do certain things. And I'm not saying it's impossible, right? I'm saying that it becomes very, very difficult, I would say. And I don't know what I would do if I had a daughter and I saw her one day on the internet, right, dressing really inappropriately or twerking or something like this, right? I would be heartbroken completely, right? So, because if I had a daughter also, I wouldn't see myself talking to her like I would to my son if he messes up. You know what I mean? If my son messes up, I can talk to him crazy, right? Strong, right? I couldn't do that to a daughter. So I think that would affect me differently if I had a daughter and I saw her doing things like that, like inappropriate stuff. Walaikum salam 55. How you doing? Too many temptations for young females in today's society. I'm telling you, bro. It's So I'm in the UK. My daughter is 16. She's not Muslim. I reverted nearly a year ago, but even before then, my daughter would cover her hair, mashallah. If she was going to her uncle's house, as strict as he's strict in his deen, alhamdulillah. But she would offer on her own wish. That's amazing, right? That's amazing. I just Like if I had a daughter, right? For example, my son is 4 years old now. He just turned 4. If I had a daughter and she was 4, I would just be spoiling her left and right. Spoil, spoil, spoil. 5, spoil, spoil. 6, spoil, spoil. 7, spoil, spoil. 8, spoil, spoil. 9, 10, 11, 12, spoil, spoil, spoil. You know, this would be the overwhelming majority of my relationship with my daughter, right? And obviously, teach her certain things, right? Teach her modesty, teach her the importance of not giving herself up to a man, things like this, just for the sake of it, or for temptation or desire, things like this, right? Teach her that her value is, you know, it's here, not what she shows. I would teach a lot of good things to my daughter also. But what I'm saying is, if I saw my daughter go opposite route, right, and go full on liberal, and I wear whatever I want, I act however I want, boss bitch mentality, oh bro, I would lose it. I would be heartbroken, right? Or doing certain things online and things. If I come across some stuff like that, I'm not saying it's impossible. I've seen mothers here and their daughter, they wear hijab and everything, and perfectly fine. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that for me personally, it would be very difficult. You know what I mean? It would be very difficult to address that for me when it came to my daughter. Right? When you have a son, you can talk to them differently. You can approach things differently. Right? And if they fall, right? If they fall, you kind of know that, hey, this is life, son. Life is hard for men. You're gonna fall, you get back up. Falling is a good opportunity to get back up. This is why even when my son, when he's with me, let's say he physically falls to the ground. Kids sometimes they stumble, they fall. Now in my house, I have carpet. My apartment, I have carpet, so he doesn't get hurt at all. But the act of him, let's say, tripping and falling, right? I don't go and I pick him up, right? I tell him get up, up. So I tell him he gets up right away. Right? No baby, no nothing, right? Now if he fell on concrete, I will tell him the same thing, up, up. And I used to do this when he was learning how to walk in Miami, when he was like a year and some change, about 2 years, and he was, I still had him over there up to a certain point. I would take him to the park, and I would have him walk. And anytime he would fall, so what I would do is I would put him like on the grass at the park. I'll take him to the park, and I'll put him on the grass, and he'll start giving his steps. And anytime he would fall, I will go up, get up, son, right? And he'll get up, up. After a couple of ups, he will get up, and then he will fall again, and then you would hear him struggling, but he will get up after a few times, right? And he was learning how to walk, like 2 years old, and now, what's up, Adam? Now, when my son falls, now he just gets up. He doesn't complain about anything. He does not complain. He falls, he gets up. The other day, when he was with me, I was on the couch, and again, I have carpet. So there's zero chance for him to like injure himself or anything like this, right? I have carpet. So the couch is on top of the carpet. Everything's carpet. So, he likes to climb on the couch and like 4 years old. So, kids get all, they start testing their boundaries, right, with their body and what they can do. So he starts like putting himself upside down on the couch, and like half of the body is hanging from the couch upside down, and the other half are his legs over here, and he's trying to get like between that and the wall, and then there's like a little tight space in between that and the wall, and I'm next to him, and part of me, as his dad, is wants to grab him by the legs, right, and so he doesn't fall off. But the other part of me is like, he needs to learn how to get out of the situation. So now I'm sitting there looking at him, knowing that he's not going to get injured, knowing that he's not going to get hurt. The most that can happen is he slides off the couch and boom, falls onto the carpet, right? So at a certain point, he's like sliding like this, but there was a small distance between the couch and the wall. So he's kind of like gets stuck there a little bit, and I hear him, and I'm like, "Get up, son." I kept telling him, "Get up, get out of it. You got to get out of it, right?" And eventually, he got out of it, right? But that's the difference. For example, between a mom and a dad, right? If you're a good dad, I recognize in that moment there's still a thing in me as a dad that doesn't want my son to get hurt, right? Although I know he's not going to get hurt because there's carpet. So there's that, right? So there's that. And then there's the other side of me that it's like, no, he has to learn how to get up if he falls and get out of tough situations. Now, in my mind, I'm cheering for him to not fall on the carpet, even though he's not going to get hurt. In my mind, I'm cheering for him to get through the situation and get out of there. And he gets out of it. Then there was another instant where, again, playing on the carpet, and he likes to run around in circles. Sometimes my stepson does the same thing when they have a lot of energy to burn, right? And there's a beach ball on the carpet. So he's running around, going crazy. And he miscalculated the where the beach ball was, and he put his foot on it. And obviously the beach ball, comes out the other way. And he falls, bah, onto the carpet, right? Again, there's carpet. It's not like tile or anything, right? So for a second, he goes like that. I'm like, get up, right? And so he ends up getting up and he walks over where he's at and he's looking at me like this, right? But now he's up and he's in front of me. So I grab his arm and I go like this, and he becomes quiet, right? Now again, he fell on carpet. He becomes quiet. So I'm like, okay, nothing's broken. Go back to play, right? And he just looks at me for a second and starts laughing and starts running and running and running and running, right? Now, the difference in that moment, perhaps, between a mom or a dad in general, the mom will go, "Oh my God," and go baby the kid and comfort, right? Now, I comfort my son also, but not in those moments. Now, if he had like if he had broken something, and let's say there's circumstances are different, maybe there's no carpet, maybe there's tile instead. He fell, he hurt his arm, it's really injured it, maybe broke it, and he's crying and screaming. I'm not gonna be like, "Get up, son." You have to have common sense also. I will comfort him in that moment. But as a dad, you can't comfort your son for every little thing, right? Especially if okay, he's not actually, nothing is broken. There's no physical harm. There might be a little bit of pain that he felt from falling, right? If any, because he's on carpet, right? But as a dad, you intrinsically understand I can't baby my son, because if I do, this is not a good thing for him. It's not beneficial for him to do this. Because if I do this all the time with him, he will grow up soft. This you're not, as a father, you are doing your son a disservice, because you're not getting him ready for the reality of life, right? And life is painful. So he's gonna experience way more things when he's an adult that are painful, right? But in that stage of his life where he's at, 4 years old, baby, no responsibility, falling on the ground and feeling a little bit of pain for a second, that's a big thing. That's a big thing for him as a kid, right? And it's a learning moment. And I think those moments shouldn't be missed. Like if mom comes and, "Oh my baby, oh what's wrong, my baby?" Now that boy is being taught that when I fall, whether I'm injured or not, if I'm gonna get comfort. right? And then that translates as it grows into other areas of life. If mom is like this, I think this is why both parents have a role to play. And mom should be the comforter, and dad is the one that tells them get up. That's the balance. That's a balance right there, right? That's why there's feminine and masculine, and they both have an important role to play. Now, this doesn't mean I don't comfort my son. I comfort my son actually a lot, but not when there's uh, at the wrong moment. At the wrong moment to comfort him will be like in that situation where he felt he's not injured, and I go baby him. No, I comfort my son all the time when he's in a happy state. This is when I comfort my son. Let's say he's running, he's laughing, he's running, he's laughing. You know what I mean? Then I might grab him and give him kisses, right? Things like that. I'll give him kisses. I'll tell him, give Papa a kiss. Things like this. But he's in a happy state, right? But if he's not in danger, he's not seriously hurt, something little happens that is you could consider a negative, I'm not going to comfort him because he needs to learn how to get up and do, push through things. Mom builds heart, dad builds character. Exactly. Agree with you. I did the same with my son, also about when my ex-wife is extremely dramatic and loses more anxiety in my son. Yeah. You know what I do even with my stepson? You know what I do with my stepson? Sometimes I purposely listen to this. Sometimes he's 5. Sometimes I purposely piss off my stepson. I push his buttons on purpose. Playful, but he takes it serious. But I know how I can piss him off. So it goes like this. This is with my stepson. Watch this. It goes like this. He likes Paw Patrol, the cartoons with the dog. He says, he's 5 years old. He says, I'm Chase. He calls himself Chase because that's a character he likes. And he goes, and you're Zuma, the other character. Right? Dog superheroes. So I'll tell him, no, I'm Chase. Then he's like, no. I go, I'm the real Chase. You're not Chase. And he starts getting heated. No, I'm the real Chase. I said, I do this all the time. I'm the real Chase and you're the fake. You're Zuma. And he gets really upset, right? Like to the point where he starts like shouting, like, no, I'm the real Chase, right? And then I go, well, now we're gonna wrestle to see who the real Chase is. Let's go, buddy. You're going down, and I'll get up. And now, you know what he does? He looks at me like this and takes off his shirt and throws his shirt and goes like this. He got skinny arms, and I go, whoa. So it's like I push his buttons playfully. He takes it serious because it bothers him. So I push more, right? I make him a little bit, I bring that out of him, right? Then I challenge him. We're gonna wrestle to see who the real Chase is, right? He takes off his shirt, flexes his muscles, right? And then I go, let's go, buddy. You're going down. And then, so what I do is I'll get on my knees on the carpet. And then he'll angry like this, right? So I put my hand on the back of his neck, like wrestling position, right? And then I taught him how to do the underhooks, get the underhooks. So now we're wrestling for position for the underhooks, right? And I'm like, you're going down. I'm going to show you who the real Chase is. And you can hear him now. I'm the real Chase. And then he gets really worked up, right? And so he's like pushing with all his body and he's trying to get underhooks under me like this. And then I'm trying to get the underhooks. And sometimes I'll grab his leg and I try to lift him up. And then he's like balancing on one leg, right? And so he's pushing. And sometimes I have him like, he's pushing with all his force against me. So then what I'll do is like, I'll retrieve a little bit like, oh man, you're strong today. You've been eating all your chicken or what? He's like, yeah, but he's still upset, right? And sometimes I grab him by one leg and I lift him up and I put him down. And you can see he's kind of like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, right? But then I tell him, you haven't lost until your back touches the ground. So he's learned how to do this, right? So even if I have him on the ground, the upper part of his body, he arcs his body like this. So he'll do this. And then I'll tell him, don't give up. Are you a chicken or what? And then he'll because I've already set up I guess the standard that if your back doesn't touch the ground, you haven't lost, right? So even though he's in a bad position, he doesn't give up. So he'll like turn his body this way. He'll find a way to get out. And as he's doing this, I'm giving him the dramatics, and I'm like, "Oh, you're getting away. Why are you getting away?" Right? And then I'll have him slip out of here, and then he'll get my back, right? And then I'll take him off my back, and we go and we wrestle again. And usually, 8 out of 10 times, it ends up with him pushing me like all his weight, right? He's like 40 pounds, and it ends up like me going like this, ah, and I end up falling back, right? And he ends up on top of me, like pinning me down, right? And I go, man, it's like a whole show I do, right? I go, man, what you been eating lately, right? But this helps him and gives him confidence, right? But I don't always let him win, right? But you can see this increases his confidence, and he tells me sometimes I'll tell him, "You're a little baby." He'll get angry at that too. I'm not a baby. I'm a big boy. And he'll start screaming it, right? I'm like, "You're a little baby. We gotta check your." And I'll tell my wife, I'm like, "Baby, you check his diaper." I don't wear diapers, right? Okay, let's wrestle. See if you wear. Let's see who's the baby, right? And then we'll do the process over again. So this is good to do with kids, with boys especially, right? And but sometimes when we do the wrestling thing, right? I don't let him win all the time. What's up, Glitch? I don't let him win all the time. Sometimes we go wrestle, right? And he's trying to get the underhook, and I just lift him up and I put him on the ground, and I say, "Ha ha! I beat you today," because I want to see how he's gonna react to a loss, also, right? And a lot of the times he'll say, "Let's go again," right? Some days he'll just be like, Shawn, you want to play with me? Like he wants to move on to something else, right? But there's days that he's like, let's go again. And then if we try again, then I'll let him win the second time. Right. And then sometimes we do a third round of wrestling, right? And usually if he's willing to do a third round, I'll let him win the third round. Right. Because I'll tell him, oh, now